If you were granted one wish to change anything about your golf game that would make the game super fun every single time you went out, what would it be? What is the one thing that you would pick? I'd love to see your comments down below. But if you're like most golfers, they would take distance and consistency. Those are the two things that most golfers want. And they usually are thought of as disparate things. You either get one or the other. But what if you could have both at the same time? And at the same time, swing with way less effort than what you're doing right now, but hit the ball way farther than you ever have before. That's the exact opportunity you have today. In this video, I'm going to share with you my secrets, because if there's one thing I know, it's about how to hit the ball far without swinging very hard to do it. Effortless power is my specialty. And today I want to share with you the secrets I've learned from some of the best ball strikers by studying the greatest of all time to teach you one of the most important aspects of how to generate effortless power: how to use your head. Let me ask you this. Do you struggle to hit the ball at least 300 yards in the air? If you're like most golfers, it's like a 1% thing. 99% of the golfers can't hit the ball 300 yards in the air. But what is so special about those of us that can? The reality is we're doing the exact opposite with our heads that you are. What do I mean by that? Are you trying to hold your head still in the golf swing? Or have you ever heard that you should keep your head really still? If you do that, you are costing yourself so much power, and you have no idea how much harder you're making the game on yourself. If you're trying to keep your head very still in the golf swing, you're losing leverage. Leverage is what is the most important thing that you ever have to learn how to create in your golf swing if you want to have effortless power. And your head is one of the most important aspects of creating leverage in the swing. Once you realize your head isn't just some passive part of the swing that you're supposed to hold still and hold steady in place, but instead is an active part of the swing to help you generate power, you'll finally realize you've been doing the exact opposite of what all long hitters do in the swing, and you'll understand why you don't have power. You heard me right. The secret to effortless power is all in your head. And I don't mean that figuratively, I mean that literally. What's so special about the head? Well, first of all, it's heavy.
Do you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
It's actually closer to about 10 pounds for the average adult. Why does that matter? Because to generate power in the golf swing, we need leverage. Leverage is a force multiplier, and it's what gives you that weird math where 1 times 1 equals 5. That's where you get synergies in the golf swing that allow you to feel like you're not doing anything at all, but yet the ball goes twice as far as normal. That's all down to leverage. And you've experienced this in the golf swing at least once before, where you felt like you did nothing, you didn't work for it, you didn't muscle it. In fact, you felt more relaxed than ever before, but yet the ball rocketed off the face. That's leverage. That's what you've been searching for in your golf swing this entire time, is how do you properly generate leverage to give you effortless speed? And that's where your head comes in. The head on your driver weighs a little over 200 grams, or less than half a pound. Your head weighs 20 times that. If we can figure out some way to use this giant heavy bowling ball on top of our shoulders to help move this lightweight club head, we're onto something. Then we're going to start to understand where leverage really, really works on the golf swing. Let me give you a simple way to think about this. If I was to balance this club head on its fulcrum, that's about where it's going to balance out. Now imagine what would happen if I put a 10-pound weight on the end of that club head. What's going to happen? It's going to immediately drop down with a tremendous amount of leverage around this fulcrum. Now imagine that I move that 10-pound weight 4 or 5 feet further out away from the club head. That's going to give me even more leverage. And that is what your head does in the golf swing. Think about it. The club head's way down there, your head's here. If I use my head correctly, it's going to move the golf club with a tremendous amount of leverage that doesn't feel like any effort on my part at all. And guess what? The most powerful hitters of all time already intuitively do this in their swings. It's the one thing that they don't realize that they're doing, but they all do it. Anybody that hits the ball a long ways, you're going to see in just a moment in part 2 of this video that they're using their head as an active lever for the body, or a counterweight to use the body as a lever. They don't try and keep their head still at all. In fact, they are purposely moving their head to create leverage and to use it as a braking device to snap the release of the wrists. And in part 2 of this video, I'm going to show you just how common this is in the most powerful hitters on the planet. If you want to learn how to use your entire body as a lever and stop slapping at the ball with just your arms and hands and finally feel effortless power in your golf swing, click the link in the description below to see part 2 for free.